Every year around harvest time, which is late fall, I tend to get a little anxious. The reason for that anxiety is the weather. Though we've made a tremendous amount of progress on this shop this year. I mean, I finally have doors here instead of a tarp hanging. That's huge progress. But no walk-in cooler. Hopefully next year will be the year that we get the walk-in cooler installed in here. The walk-in cooler would definitely eliminate that weather-based anxiety. Let me explain. When harvesting livestock, let's just say lamb here in particular, it's an animal that actually does better to dry age, to hang the meat for at least 2 weeks. But the longer it goes, the better it tastes. But whether you dry age or not, that meat needs to be hung at refrigerator temperatures, anywhere from the mid-30s to the low 40s. Any colder and your meat will freeze. That creates problems if, one, your meat hasn't gone through rigor mortis yet. The meat needs to go through rigor mortis and then come back out of it before doing butchery and freezing for the long term. And two, you don't want to prematurely freeze the carcass. One, it makes butchery hard, and two, you're going to have to go through a freeze, thaw cycle. It's not the best for the meat. If the temperature's too warm, of course it'll increase the likelihood of the meat spoiling. That's not good either. So when we get into harvest season, I have to really pay attention to the weather forecast to find this window where the overnight lows aren't freezing, but the highs during the day aren't really above 45. I mean, I have taken it up into the high 40s before out of necessity, but you definitely don't want a long stretch of that. So every year, though I go through this anxious period hoping we find the right temperatures, we do manage to find that perfect window, usually in late October through early to mid-November. Because of the season of life I'm in, I like to have my harvest done before the winter weather sets in, and I just have the chickens over winter. This year, the weather was so different. It is mid-October, and little buddy's in short sleeves and shorts. It's in the mid-60s. Yeah, that was just 3 weeks ago. Short sleeve weather. High 60s, low 70s. It didn't look like harvest was gonna be anytime soon. Then the weather did start to change. It got cooler, but also super rainy. It was like that for about a week, and then I had to go to Ohio to film for Abundance Plus with Sean and Beth Dougherty.
If you're encountering us for the first time, it wouldn't be a surprise because we don't do a lot on YouTube or on
social
media. We're in Toronto, Ohio. We've been farming for about 30 years, and our goal or mission is to find the way that Grandpa used to farm before there were feed stores and all those things that make it so convenient
for
right
pressurized
now.
water and...
That's right.
Right, and big tractors.
And all the cash that's going off the farm to provide all of those things. We said the farm ought to be able to feed the farm.
We came to this farm with 4 children. One was a tiny baby. And began to manage it not to make money, but to make a lifestyle for our family and to feed ourselves.
When I got back from that trip, I saw the weather forecast. It wasn't good. With the exception of last Saturday and Sunday, the forecast was calling for all days with the highs being in the 20s. Not good for harvest. It was looking like that as far out as the forecast would go, either super cold or winter stormy weather coming. For grazing, I had this patch right here left, so that would have been about 1 day. About a day in here and about 2 days in that pen there, plus about a week and a half worth of hay left. So I really only had about 2 weeks of food left for my sheep before I was just going to be out of food. And based on what I was seeing in the forecast, there was no hope for harvest if I didn't do it right away. So I made that decision to harvest on Saturday morning, so I had to scramble, sharpen the knives. And as you can see, I harvested the lambs. The only day I could do butchery was Sunday, because like I said, Monday and as far out as it goes, it was going to be high in the 20s and really bad weather, so I had to do butchery on Sunday so my meat wouldn't freeze. Everything actually went really well once I got everything set up. There were no hiccups. Everything was peaceful and smooth. Dan's partner came out to help. It was just the two of us. I'm sharing all this for a few reasons. One is it's good to talk about these kind of issues because most people don't have a walk-in cooler, and you just kind of have to deal with these weather things as they come up. The other thing is it encourages me to stay focused on the goal of getting the walk-in cooler. After we harvested, I dumped all the unwanted bits, the offal, intestines, that kind of stuff, into the pig pen here so the pigs could feast upon it. That's nothing new. I've done that in the past and it's never been an issue. The pigs gorge themselves on it and they love it, and that's it. During my time at the Dohertys in Ohio, Beth actually talked about how the pig is designed for this.
When it comes to feeding animals, I mean, we're constantly saying, what is it that's on this farm that can feed animals? Pigs are very easy. Pigs will eat anything that we eat, only the less desirable parts. So we don't put anything in the compost bins. Everything goes through the guts of a pig before it goes
Compost piles are for
into
people who don't have pigs.
Right. And
chickens.
so kitchen scraps, but everything else on the farm goes there. So the weeds from the garden, the
small prunings off the fruit trees, not big branches, but little ones, pigs will eat them right out.
Yeah, just everything. Just throw it into the pig pen and let that be part of their supplement.
Virtually all the plant parts out of the garden too. Like think old dry corn stalk.
On Sunday, the day after harvest, little buddy and I came out to feed the pigs, and I noticed the bigger pig of the two didn't come out to eat. I went in his hut there to check on him, and he was just standing there. He was grunting at me, but he didn't want to come out. I figured, maybe he just gorged himself on all that offal the day before, and he's just kind of feeling bloated. It happens, right? But the next day during chores, this happened. About the worst possible thing that I can think of in animal husbandry that can occur right when you're getting close to harvest has happened. Piggy. Little buddy and I just came out here to do the evening chores and came over here to check the pigs, and only one came out to eat. This one's dead. I have two pigs. That remaining one back there was significantly smaller. It was my bigger pig that I was hopeful to get a lot of pork from, is the dead one. All right, little buddy, you got the bag there. The plan is we're gonna try to get the pig in the bag, drag him out the fence here, and hopefully drag him over to my pickup truck, get him loaded up, and to the dump.
Do we have to go to the dump today?
No, it's 20 degrees out right now, wind chill about 10 degrees. That said, the pig's probably frozen, and it's the high for tomorrow's in the low 20s as well. So it's not gonna be stinking and decomposing. So we can take him tomorrow, but we need to get him out of here today, right now. Ugh. Yeah. Ugh. All right, can you slide the bag under him? The smell gets me. There's no way I'm going to be able to pick up the pig and get him in the bed of the truck. I've had the tractor plugged in, I don't know, about 30 minutes or so to warm it. Hopefully it'll start. It's so cold. Come on, baby. is awful. It's terrible to lose livestock at any time, but what makes it even worse is I don't know when we're going to harvest because it's been freezing. It's too cold to harvest right now, but we're in the harvest season, so close to harvest, and the pig dies. Not to mention he's also the bigger of the two. So instead of being half my pork supply gone, it's actually like 2/3 my pork supply gone because he was a lot bigger than this guy. For scale, this pig right here looks like about an American guinea hog at about 8 or 9 months, maybe a year old. Like, it's small. Hanging weight on him would probably be like, I don't know, 40 pounds. I mean, last year my pigs were like 350 pounds. This is, I don't know. I don't know what caused it. Was it the offal? I don't know. This guy ate it too, and he's fine. So probably not. It could have just been a coincidence. That pig may have just been coming down with a cold or something, and it got so cold and blustery out, and maybe it was just too much for him. The only changes in circumstances were, 1, the offal, and 2, the dramatic weather change. Health-wise, though, you're doing just fine, aren't you, buddy? I've never had just one pig by himself, one of any animal by himself. I don't even have the sheep anymore to where I could put them together to keep them company. The other thing going on here with the feed is it's too cold to soak the grain. He's only ever had soaked grain as far as the feed goes. So the last couple days we've been putting in the dry stuff in there and he doesn't want to eat it. So I'm trying to think, what is the moral of this story? I don't know if there is one, other than that, the old saying, if you have livestock, you're going to have dead stock. It just happens. Grandma's here with little buddy, picking him up from school. Hey, buddy.
Hi.
Did you have a good day at school?
Sort of.
Come on out. Why do you ride in the back?
She forces me to.
How come? He's old enough to ride in the front now,
I know, but I still like it this way.
All right. Why aren't you wearing your boots?
Because my feet sweat in them.
Well, you could put them on for a few minutes when you're out in the snow. What were your thoughts on the pig dying?
Kind of sad because, well, no food. But,
Yeah, we lost a lot of pork.
yeah.
You think he'll eat them?
What?
Think he eats spinach? Yeah, he's chewing on it a little bit. I suppose the takeaway for you guys, what I hope is anyway, for some of you guys who are newer and haven't experienced this yet, to know that, hey, this does happen and you just have to keep moving on. What are your takeaways, little buddy?
Well, I really hope a pig doesn't die again. And, it was pretty much weather issues and somehow that pig got sick. But, yeah, kind of disappointed.